He was a Manovator, and she was a mod. Will they find common ground? Can love bloom in a chat? No, it can't. He died alone. Hey, Maple. I was making up my my new Yaoi X Yuri X straight relationship romance novel between a guy who makes spam bots and a mod. But it's really just it's a lot like Battle Royale, where they just chase the bot maker through an island for a couple hours. He dies in the end. And then all the boys kiss the boys, and all the girls kiss the girls. The end. How you doing, Maple? I'm doing the same thing that I do every day, which is try and find some music I can tolerate that won't get me banned, and I fail every time. I wasn't sinusy until now. Ah. Perhaps I'm allergic to maple. There we go. All right. All right. All right. So you know what it is today. We're going to finish the damn maid outfit. It must be done. It simply must be done. But what am I, ugh. What music am I feeling today? We'll find a playlist. Music that I've never heard. But what genre? What's this? I don't know. I'm kind of digging this. Definitely trying to find out if it's AI or not. Looks real. Feels real. Cool. I'm sorry, we're jazz based here for the time being until we can find something else more satisfactory. Speaking of satisfactory, we're not playing Satisfactory today. What we are playing is pretend to be an artist until you finish a piece of art. It's funny because like a lot of I don't know why rap artists are so obsessed with not being called rap artists. Um like there's no shame in it. And like while I am an artist, I don't the only reason that I'm an artist, I mean, I'm an artist, but don't call me an artist. It's like, don't call me a rapper, you know. Um, but like the only reason that I'm doing this is because I can't afford to pay people to do it for me. I can't do it. Like, and I would love to. I love to just like have the cash to dole out like all of these ideas that I have and pay all my artist friends to do all this stuff for me. Like, it's just not gonna happen though, is it? And so, what's the phrase? How does it go? So we sit palely loitering, or some shit that Ambiguous Amphibian says. God, Ambiguous Amphibian would be such a pull if I could get him on my stream one day. I would absolutely, and that would absolutely not be for anyone else on my stream, because like I'm pretty sure nobody else knows who he is. But by far my absolute favorite YouTuber out there. Highly philosophical, very deep voice, plays a lot of Project Zomboid. I mean, he plays a lot of stuff now. But he plays, like, what got me into him was Project Zomboid, The Sims, and what's the other one? The one with the people that crash land on the planet. RimWorld. Yeah, RimWorld. That's the one. How are my Wacom settings up? Yeah, I gotta tell you, last night when the stream cut out, that was... I don't know why that hit me so hard, but like I was just like, I can't... I need most of what's happening that goes wrong to be something I can fix. Because like if I have to just stare off into the void while something else breaks down that I have no idea what, I just, ugh. Really what I need to do is start working out again. Need to burn off some of this extra energy. We'll see, though. Oh, I'm sorry. I should probably switch to the art stream. Boop. There we go. Oh, that is way off, aren't you? Actually, hold on. Oh, because the frame, that's why I did it. Okay. Let's just get... Oh, this sounds exactly like a Jurassic 5 beat. I mean, I know it's a pretty common jazz beat, so there's that, but... Zoom in. Okay, now, if I was smart, right, but I wasn't. Damn it. Whoop. Where did I spray this? On what layer? Okay. So what we're seeing here on Made, I think I need to make this a little smoother. I don't know why I went with the freehand thing initially. I think maybe I thought it would be more like natural in terms of like fabric. But now I think it just kind of looks not great. Actually, let's just get rid of this bottom half entirely. There we go. Be gone. It's fucking ridiculous. I love that people wanted me to like stop at here, basically. Like there were people who were like, no, you could just do like the Made outfit up to here and be done. And I could be done with it by now, but that's not how we roll here, right? Also, we're going to be smart and start naming layers. Main over. I do not like how they're stealing. It's just, this isn't working for me. That's better. How is the stream, by the way? Out of curiosity. No reason why. Bam. Sorry, I'll give you a sec. How are y'all not seeing the same thing that I am? What is happening? Excellent. More things are breaking. Am I fully tripping? Have I lost my mind? I don't think he loses his mind. I think he lost his mind. Something is broken. Jace, I believe. Come on, come on. Boop. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Why did you do that? All right. So let's just do our base outline because we want to do this main skirt here first. So I think what we'll do is take this. And we want this to be about the same size. And this is supposed to kind of cinch around the upper waist, so I think like right here will be good. Use the pen. I bought a Wacom. I have to force myself to use it. Or maybe I could just use the line tool. Who knows? No one look at me. Okay, so those both curve up. Okay. Slight curve. Jace. There we go. All right, this is good. We're going to get under here a little bit with... Oop, nope. All right, we're going to come back and fix that later with a spray over. I need to, you know what, here, I'm going to actually look up parts for this. I was looking to erase. Let's go. Sorry, some of these little extra things are driving me absolutely batty. They must be cleaned. All right. And you know what? Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to erase mint and then put a new mint in because this mint is too baked. Sorry, mint. Man, this music ain't doing it for me. Let's try this. I mean, Loop on the Third is always going to hit it hard. I changed the thing. I changed the thing. Why does it still say Cyberpunk? It should say art. Oh my god. I'm... God, that's so annoying. There, it says the right thing now. We still might end up playing Cyberpunk when I'm done with this, but I'm making a maid outfit right now. Hi, Cryptfire. Good to see you. Welcome. I had a lot of fun, even though I didn't really get to play the game. Honestly, that's not why I do this. It's really not why I play games either. Like, for the most part, like, if I want to play a video game, like, to play the video game, I usually am playing solo. But, like, just seeing how everyone handles it, and the fact that y'all were, like... I don't know, it was like watching professional chefs work, where it's like, okay, we've got a prep table, we've got our sous chef, we got all our sauces going, like, getting all of our mise en place, like, all that being done, was really fun to watch. Pergabeth! Hey, Perk. Yeah, we're just talking about the, we're used to being fast tryhards. Well, okay, so let me take a look at the games that I have, and maybe I can be a tryhard for y'all. I mean, Helldivers 2 is, it's less that I vibe so hard with Helldivers that I don't even try anymore. Like, I just, like, once the pod hits the ground, I exist exclusively as a Helldiver. Like, I'm so in it, it's just a flow state. Which I'm sure it is for you with Faz, Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades is not multiplayer. That's a bummer. Sea of Thieves is another one where I'm a tryhard, big time. It used to be that I could get to a flow state, but now it's a little different. But yeah, I'm just. Let's see what else. I have so many uninstalled games right now. I keep wanting to try them. Destroyer of Ghosts, very nice. All right. Saucy. No, we mustn't. All right. You know what? All right. Top skirt. But yeah, so currently what we're doing is making a maid outfit, or at least the outline of one. Oh, I'm erasing nothing. All sound and fury signifying nothing. God, this jazz is so intense. I'm a big fan. So I don't think this is the best way to approach a project, but it's the way that I have to approach it right now. I want to get this done. I want to be done with this maid outfit. You're gonna fit under there, but over that. Because I want to start on a new model. And so I'm kind of like super dedicated to getting that done today. And what I mean by done is getting the initial art assets done. So when you're making a VTuber, you've got three main phases really. Your initial like sketch model, your assets. You're gonna create the assets, then you're gonna rig it, then you're gonna display it. And we're currently in the, for this at least, in the asset area right now. I kind of want you to close that gap. Area tolerance. Hi. You all right? You right there, JD? Oh, sorry. So what we're working on right now is the skirt layer. Gotta get rid of those legs. There we go. He's got to go too. Actually, that we can keep. Yeah, we're good there. All right, so this is a short little one, and then we've got 2 others. I want to make this a little bigger. Let's do that. To answer your earlier question, I am doing all right. I was driving for lunch. Oh, that's fine. It's fine. What was for lunch? All right, so we do want this to billow a little bit. I'm gonna get rid of this and import image. Mint too big. Small mint. Small minto. Tiny reference minto. Slightly bigger. All right. So we look like we had a little bit of like a puffy flare out on the kind of hip region. Oh, nice. Lunch good. Man, I really screwed myself up yesterday, just with this tooth thing. But we're coming to an end on that, so that'll be nice. Okay. If there's a contest, I'm gonna win it. What about a being tall contest? This is unfair! When I become president... Yeah, average size mint. I've been watching her play Metal Gear, which I have never had an interest in playing Metal Gear before until kind of nowish. And now I'm thinking maybe I pick up something. I might pick up the later games. All right. I was just about to say, man, this sounds a whole lot like a song from a Sonic game. Guess what? It is. From the Sonic game that I played a lot as a kid. Unsurprising. All right. All right, so there's that. And then that. Sorry, this might be hyper-focus mode pasta today. We'll see. Okay. Let's see here. So, you know what? I'm realizing that I don't know much about like the sewing of these types of outfits, which is kind of a bummer because I do a fair amount of sewing on my own. And I kind of want to learn like what the names of everything is, what stitches are used, Like, just all that sort of stuff is really interesting to me. Nope. No. But like, that's another. Like today after the stream, I'm going to be going to the shop to let's get some opacity down. Yeah, tomorrow after the, or today after the stream, I'm going to be going to the shop to sew a poncho that I've really wanted to sew for a long time. I don't know if y'all were here for the earlier days before my VTuber model was completely done. You know what? We can't do shading. We just can't. God, I can't do it. It's gonna make me hurt. Let's just do some simple shading for now and forgive ourselves later. Big. God, the spray paint can is cheating. Okay, and now, ding. Let's expand you out. 3 pixels? No. 1 pixel. 1 more pixel. Perfect. Yeah, so I'm going to be sewing a poncho. If you look up tactical poncho, you're going to get a lot of ponchos, unsurprisingly. But the aspect of the poncho that I'm talking about, where it's like waterproof, modular, the hood is actually like worth it. Because every tactical hoodie or every tactical poncho that's out there it's just a poncho with like pockets, and like a crappy hood with bad like waterproofing materials and stuff like that. And like I can do better than that. I just need to learn a little bit more about like how to sew hoods in particular, like a 3-panel hood. But once I get that down, it should be fairly easy. And then I will dominate the market. And I will sell my own custom pasta tactical hoodies to tactical gun nerds who are also dumb, like me. And that's not negative self-talk. I gotta be real with y'all. Like, when I say that people who are in that community are dumb, I mean it. I'm one of them. I know. We are all such suckers for so many things. Whoop. Oh, sorry. Oh, am I back? There we go. Okay. I hit buttons by accident. I'm sorry, you have gunsmithing classes, Crypt. We gotta talk. Oh yeah. No, you know exactly what I mean. And you know, I'm not even just talking about like, I think most hobbies are full of people convinced that they have to constantly buy new things. Yeah, but JD, like, this is, I don't know. It's the next step in the mall ninja. The person who goes to the mall and like buys the super tactical sword with like the cheap crap steel. That thinks that they're genuinely gonna need it, but writ large and with a paycheck. I swear to God, you go on to Varustelka. What's the name of it? Hold on. Varusteleka. It's a Nordic tactical gear company. You can buy a tied off piece of paracord in a loop for $10. This is like a few inches of paracord or elastic paracord tied off into a loop. Like, I've been in hobbies before, there is something uniquely bad about the tactical community. A lot of it can be like, you know, attributed to the fact that like everyone in that hobby thinks that the thing that they have in their hands could mean life or death. It's not. It's not. The gear isn't going to save you. 'Tis a fool samurai who blames his sword. It's a fool workman who blames his tool. You know. Why are you like this here? Why? No, this is not. I don't like this, and I'm annoyed now. And I'm gonna have to fix you. You must be fixed. Not to take away from the idiocy of other industries, and like, you know, I know one of the industries at least that JD's talking about, which is the ultralight community, that just does truly the most insane things to get their pack weight down. Because, you know, every ounce counts is how that goes. But the difference between like every ounce counts and the difference between, or like, and like the tactical guys, is that eventually if you hike long enough and far enough, you're gonna get into the the sawn off toothbrush. Exactly. Once you get into am I doing this right? Like once you start hiking, you're naturally going to get yourself into shape. Purely by just doing it. Like if you get on a trail like the Appalachian Trail or something like that, and you do that hike, what's going to happen is that your body is naturally going to adjust and start devouring calories nonstop. So that's usually the first people's bump, is they don't understand how much they're about to like need in order to hike that far all day, every day. And we're starting to get some spray paint creep here. I don't like this. So like, yeah, shaving off your like the end of your toothbrush, ripping out the pages of the book that you just read, like you already read, is actually helpful down the line. Kinda. But it's when, oh boy, this part's gonna kill me. Yeah, the lighter you go, the farther you can go more comfortably. The difference between the ultralight community and the insane things that they do is that eventually, if you do it enough, you will reap the benefits of all of that lightweight gear. The tactical community, on the other hand, is preparing for World War III, which even if World War III did happen, which it's not going to happen the way that they think, where it's like, you know, the classic, you know, soldier meanders out into the field and just, you know, starts mowing down commies. Like, you know, that war passed. That was 50s, 60s. Like, the prep that you do today ain't gonna do for today. So that's the tactical community, is that they're obsessed with this idea of like the lone soldier, and that every little piece of gear, the what's the word I'm looking for? High speed, low drag stuff. Ugh. Now the EDC community, I think, is actually an offshoot, an offspring of the tactical community. But at least the EDC community isn't planning on killing people. And they can buy all of the like titanium, wedge, chisel, pry bars that they want, and that's fine. Or maybe change up their wallet. I don't know. The EDC community is weird. Those are a bunch of weirdos. Because then you start, like, once you start thinking about EDC, like, and so for those who don't know, EDC is everyday carry. Once you start going down that road, you start thinking, well, I don't have all this stuff that these other guys have. maybe I need to carry more, which is not the point. The point is to have things that you need every day on you. And let's take that to an extreme, like me, and I now carry a full backpack pretty much everywhere I go, but that's mostly because I have a bunch of first aid kit stuff that could genuinely help someone in the future. JD, that is so mean. That is so mean. It's so accurate. Oh, that is delightful. We all carry our fears. Damn. That's some wisdom. JD coming in with wisdom. Yeah. I do fear being unprepared for certain situations. But, you know, that fear is, for the most part, I don't know, irrational. Yeah. Really, all you need is a pair of shoes and a knife. You're ready for anything. That's it. No underwear, no clothes, no gun, nothing. Just have underwear, have a knife. Everything else will fall into place. No, I constantly run the joke that, you know, survival isn't about like discipline or preparation or okay, we're turning up the sensitivity on this to the max because I don't use sensitivity on this. Okay, well now it's just not doing anything. Come on. Why are you like this? Why is it like this? Should it be giving me like a straight line? Brush size. Go with brush size 2. Oh, it's because I have it on noise because I'm an idiot. God. Oh, I'm on the fucking spray paint. That's why. Sorry, I'll give me 1 second. I'm looking for other music. Ah, here we go. This is what I've been looking for. Jacob Man, Big Band. I really like the phrase, we all carry our fears. That is really... I still don't get the pry bars. I don't get the pry bars. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, and here I'll do a quick little doodle here. So EDC community seems to have this obsession with these pry bars that are shaped like this, right? Like, and there's like usually a little keychain thing here, and they're made out of like titanium or steel or iron or brass or whatever, but that's it. And these things go for an insane amount of money because it's machined metal. And they can get away with charging, you know, whatever. That's character in a video game thinking. The James brand. The James brand? Oh yeah, the James brand. The am I thinking of the right one? Yup. God, they started selling those at the Fall Raven store and I was like, come on. Ugh. Urban, I was watching someone, Gigi Murin, a VTuber, play Fallout and Skyrim. She picked up and carried everything all the time, always. at all times she was 1 pound away from being over encumbered, and often she just was over encumbered to the point where she just would just limp from town to town. Absolutely maddening to watch if you are someone who likes optimization. So yeah, that carry it all sort of mentality, the pick up everything, she embodies it. Did I ever mention I hate drawing? Reminds me of a friend who yeah. The only reason that I'm carrying around all of the books in our Skyrim playthrough, which, by the way, I intend to, hopefully this weekend, get rid of the current save that we have and restart. Hopefully with a fresh install of mods. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna weep. I'm gonna throw a baby tantrum. There we go. Yeah, so what I want to do with that character is collect every book that we haven't read in the series. So if there's a series happening, I want to keep that book until we complete the series, then we put the book down. But what I really should do is keep all of the books. Oh my god. Is there a way to just outline something in Clip Studio? Am I tripping? Why the fuck do I say it? What am I tripping? I don't know why I do that. I don't know who I picked that up from. Yep. I have the perk that lets me fast travel when over encumbered. Then I'll let myself have far too much on me. Makes it easier to sell all the gun runners. Yeah. Which, is that not the end of the gameplay loop for you? Because it is for me. It's once I hit the point where I'm just selling stuff to the gun runners, I'm done with the game. I hang up the phone and I go about my day because I've already killed all of Caesar's Legion. I've already killed everyone at Camp McCarran. I've taken over Vegas. Killed all the people that I don't like in New Vegas. On the Strip. Probably wiped out the Brotherhood. Helped out the folks in Goodspring. What else am I missing? God, that looks awful, and I hate it. You know what? It's okay. We're learning. I want to try this real quick. Let's just see how... I don't understand what a Bezier curve is. If someone can explain it to me, that'd be amazing. Because, one curve affects the other, right? Like this. But why? But why? I meant... I think I snuck into their place once just to see what it was like. But other than that, I never mess with them. But back to the EDC guys. Yeah, the idea that I must carry more so I can be an EDC guy is probably a disorder that should be studied. How do we get on this topic? I was talking about the poncho I was going to make. Oh yeah, the tactical poncho. This one's just going to be a nice poncho for me to have. and wear. It's going to be warm. It's going to be fleece lined. So Perkabeth, I think you are confused because spaghetti didn't exist until around 1860. So maybe there was like another meal that was being eaten at the time, but yeah, we don't want to get the timelines mixed up, right? And trust me, I would know. My great great grandfather was born in 1861. Great great great. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure, why not? No one's gonna do the math. No one's gonna do the generational math. Perfect. Thank you. We just want to get our timelines right. We don't want to be fake historians. Ba, ba, ba. Okay. Whoops. No, shut up, no. No one was alive then. All right, so on Mint, we've got 1, 2, 3 layers of what looks like to be 3 layers of cloth on the lower half. So we've got this upper apron here, this little like extra bit down here, like the 3 pieces of cloth on either hip and then in the front, and then the main skirt on the bottom. I still need to work on my ruffles. So from what I can tell, ruffles kind of go like, whoop, nope, not like that. Like this. All right. All right, somebody else talk for a while. I don't want to talk anymore. I know I'm the stream and I'm supposed to entertain, but somebody tell me something interesting. Give me something. Something, anything. Give me a subject to rant on. Or maybe tell me a rant that I didn't finish. Because I'm sure there's that out there. So back in 1862, someone decided to invent illness. Now, mental illness had existed long before this. You know what sucks, and I'm not saying this to diminish anybody's experience, but like every single person that I've asked in the past, week or so has said, "Oh, I'm tired and I'm sick, but I'm okay." I don't think we're okay, y'all. I think we're not okay, but ugh, I don't know what to do, so we'll just keep saying that over and over again. The fun thing is that it will be okay. We don't have to be okay right now. We can be okay later. That's always like what I like about the "Are Men Okay" posts. Like, no, God, no. Are you serious? Do we look okay to you? Have you seen the podcast that we host? Does that seem okay to you? Exactly, Jazz Band. Exactly. It's exactly how I'm feeling. Oh, they nailed it. Did we listen to this one? We did. Parking Ticket, Baby Carrots, Floral Fury. Yeah, let's do that one. European thought tomatoes were poisonous because they'd get sick after eating them. There was nothing wrong with the tomato, of course, but it was their plates, the metals. Yeah, that's right. And a lot of people nowadays attribute like, you know, like, oh, you can't mix tomatoes and like aluminum foil or something. It's like, you can, you just can't leave them on there forever. Oh, let's talk about other weird European shit. The Dancing Plague is always cool. Even if that's not true, I like that was like, if that's not true, someone came up with that. Someone came up with Boogie Fever before Boogie Fever was a thing. And I find that charming. My favorite thing to do in history is to try and relate to the people in those times, because we are not different. We know more, can't necessarily do more. Why are you like this? There we go. Jesus. I always eat tomato off lead plates. I keep it heavy metal. Yeah, so... You ever seen The Lighthouse? Because that was mostly about mercury poisoning, which is very similar. Fall of Rome, you know, a couple other things related to lead poisoning. What was that asshole's name that just kept inventing deadly shit, included like leaded gasoline? What else? Yeah, God, Europe has some truly insane, like, poisoning histories. Which I always find it funny when, like, I hear, like, you know, from, like, a historical drama or something, like, you know, the British man is like, ah, yes, these unwashed, filthy barbarians from outside of our country. And it's like, you were basically just disgusting petri dishes on your little island until recently. Like, let's not judge. Ooh, I could talk about the Teutoburg Forest. Let's talk about the Teutoburg Forest. You want to hear about the Teutoburg Forest? My favorite ambush in all of history. All right, so let's talk about the Teutoburg Forest. I'm not going to pull up a... I'm trying to look up how to spell it, because it's weird. Teutoburg. So this happened to the Romans as they were going through, like, Germanic territory. I believe on their way back from their kind of disastrous English invasion. And I'm taking a quick glance at the wiki so I don't get everything totally wrong. So it's also funny that they call this, like, on the wiki it's called the Battle of Teterburg Forest. It wasn't. It was a slaughter. It was an ambush. So a lot of the forests in Germany, really, like, when you start to see them for what they are, you understand why things like the Fae were invented, or like why dark fairy tales exist, and why they're often in such like overcast, cloudy, dark forests. Because holy crap, that part of Europe is basically a rainforest. In fact, I think some of them are rainforests. And so yeah, so the forest is really, really thick, like really unnavigably thick to get through, especially with an army. There's a great horror movie called The Ritual, which I recommend, that starts out with the dumbest decision that you could possibly make when you're injured in the woods, which is to take a quote-unquote shortcut. There's a path for a reason. Stay on the path, because it's the most efficient way to get from point A to point B, period. But the Teterburg Forest, incredibly thick, incredibly dense, and at this time in history, the Romans are having a bad time in Northern Europe because everyone has been conquered, kind of. Except all those conquered people got really sick of being conquered. And so they kind of gathered up and are like, hey, are y'all done with this? And they're like, yeah, I think I'm done with this. So they basically start a slow rebellion that, like, during the winter when people can't move around, they just start, like, and these are people that are already existing inside of camps, in, like, Roman camps in their territory. And they all just like, all right, so at this time and at this date, we're all just going to slaughter them all. And so they do. And there's nothing that the Romans can do about it except hear of news about all these other Roman camps that are falling to surprise ambushes, or suddenly, like, the trade caravans aren't showing up, or their trade caravans are attacked and they need help. Oh no, psych, just kidding. Those caravans that were attacked weren't actually attacked. They were set up for an ambush. And you fell for it, suckers. And so Rome is basically slowly pulling out of the Northern Europe part. And they're part of their army is marching through the Teterburg Forest. And it happens very quickly. They're going through a narrow kind of valley in a very thick forest. And, like, before they have any time to react, the Romans are just utterly ambushed on both sides of a valley by the Germanic forces, led by who led them? Sorry, you'll have to give me a second. I need to lead up to the battle. Varus's choice. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that at some point a general marching up to this forest was told, like, hey, don't go in there in your traditional Roman, single file line. I know it's efficient, but this is a really bad place to do that. And he's like, bah, it's fine. It wasn't fine. Basically, they were all in single file, and they were attacked on either side and had very little chance to rebel. Slaughtered to a man. I don't know how many of them escaped, if any. But this came back to Rome, like, the news of this ambush and this slaughtered army of Roman soldiers who were the elite. came back as a ghost story. Let's see here. Oh, and it started to rain on them. That's always good. Roman casualties have been estimated about 15 to 20,000 dead. Take that with a grain of salt, because the Romans were the one who wrote that number, and they were probably lying. They were probably trying to lesser it. All Roman accounts stress the completeness of the Roman defeat and finds that the Calcrisi of 6,000 pieces of Roman equipment, but only a single item that is clearly Germanic, part of a spur, suggests few Germanic losses. Yeah. So it was, and you could make an argument for other things, but most historians agree that this was the most devastating ambush in history. It took the most amount of lives in the most amount of time. Brutal. And so that's the Teutoburg Forest. And every time that I think about it, I can't help but think about it like the movie Alien, where everything's fine, and then it's just not. Everything's fine, and then all of a sudden there is an alien, and you are dealing with it as best you can, but then you realize there is nothing you can do except run. But there is nowhere to run. It's a horror film, and I really want someone to make a horror film out of that, because I don't know if there's ever been a horror film about 20,000 men being scared. Right? It's always small units, people that you can get to know personally. But how do you make 20,000 people scared at once? And because it's, an ambush, that scene's going to be pretty quick compared to the rest of the movie. So I guess maybe there's that. But I would love to see a movie just about that. The Romans' history in Europe is obviously really interesting. And I'm not really a European, Rome historian type of guy. I just do find it interesting. I also try and stray away from that type of history. Or talking about that kind of history, because it does lend to it an air of, you associate with a lot of people. Well, no, that's not true. Roman history is littered with white supremacists, so you want to be careful about who you're talking to when it comes to that. We just talked about how to do ruffles, and I forgot already. And I can't tell you how hard I am fighting the urge to just turn on Cyberpunk right now and play that instead. The ADHD in me that is screaming to just be good at something immediately is absolute murder. But we're not going to stop. No matter how bad we want to. We're going to finish this. It's going to be great. And we'll be done with it. And then we'll all laugh and say, haha, Pasta has a maid outfit. This also eases my mind of the I'm not doing enough to get viewers anxiety that I have. I really need to chill on that aspect of my mental health, because it's not good for you to do that. By fighting your ADHD, you are an inspiration to me. I have had the same thing happen to me with other people, so we're going to make it together. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of how you would frame... I think whoever directed the most recent Planet of the Apes films might be good for it. Because that person knows how to build a rising sense of dread in an audience that in a way that I've never felt before. I can't actually, and it's as wild for me to say about something like the Planet of the Apes films, but I can't finish it. I can't watch these people try so hard to make peace in a time where like peace was eliminated and like, you know, a lot of hope is lost. And you see these people try so hard and they get so close. But in the back of your head, just like the Titanic, you go, oh, I know how this ends. And it's so frightening to watch. But like what I think would be great is to, you know, I guess you would focus on a smaller unit of Roman soldiers, and kind of maybe intercut back and forth between like the ambushing. You could tell it from the perspective of a spy who like gets to know the Romans well, and then, you know, turns on them, because why wouldn't you? Sorry, hold on. I gotta. My mind's gotta rearrange here for a second. Yeah, I don't really know what the perspective is. I guess you'd want to focus on the victims of the ambush, which are the Romans. I almost said Russians. Those don't exist yet. Technically. But yeah, you could do like, you focus on a small group of Roman soldiers who are like talking about all the horrific shit that's been happening to the other soldiers while also just trying to like exist. And be like cool and normal. In so much as like, hey, you know, we're all really nervous about this, but let's not talk about it too much. You know, you could have the generals and like the sergeants coming around being like, hey, y'all need to shut up about that. That's not something for you to worry about. You know, stay off the comms sort of thing. And then you can intercut between the Germanic people planning this ambush and like, just, you want to give the impression that the Germans are so confident in victory that once you start to get to like these Roman soldiers, you want to warn them about it. And then it happens and there's nothing you can do, and it's nothing they can do. I think a couple Romans you get to know well, more of a character study with maybe a worried senator back home who's framing ads. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, you cut back and forth between like a senator maybe exchanging letters and like reading this. I think the desperation could definitely come in with somebody wanting to warn the Romans about it and like trying to get to the Romans in time. But man, we really don't want to frame the Romans as like good guys, right? Like, we want to get them to like them enough that we're like scared for them, but we don't want to be like too nice, because they did absolutely have what happened to them coming. Guys, how the fuck do I draw? How did I do? Oh, take a breath, dude. Just relax. It's okay. All right. We can do this. Nope. Beep, boop, boop, beep. Ah! Nah! Okay. Nope, none of that. Everybody calm down. I don't know why you're all panicking so much. Just relax. If you have the bright-eyed recruit who thinks they can do this versus some cynics, maybe some people... Oh, you know what? I do know what you could base this off of. There is a fantastic film made by Germans post-World War II about German sub-commanders and their crew called Das Boot. And what you just described is exactly what happens there. It is a dichotomy between the old pros the people who like know war and know what it's like, and these young, you know, German, like, you know, youth who think, and you know, it's at the time in the war where all of the Germans think this party's never gonna end. We did it. Like, we are going to build this super awesome world that our dear leader promised us, and everything's gonna be great. And so, like, you see these bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kids slowly realize that no, that world ain't for them. That ain't gonna happen. And, you know, part of you is celebrating that, but also these are, like, people in a boat. And a lot of them aren't, like... Oh, this gets really complicated to talk about, but, like, a lot of the older guys just don't care about the... They don't care about the propaganda anymore. They know the show's over. But they just have to keep following orders because there is nothing else for them to do. They're soldiers. And you just see the cracks form, and you see all these, you know, these kids go, oh God, the adults who we've been calling bummers the whole time were right. And it being a German creation means that, like, you know, at the end of this movie, it doesn't end well. It's a brutal watch, but it's an important one. And so you could definitely do that with the Romans, where it's like, you know, you get these new fresh recruits, maybe like the son of a senator, like you were talking about, you know, there to prove himself. And then you just start, like, seeing, you know, all these vets go, like, we're not going to make it home. How are we going to make it home with this happening? Like, you know, a lot of what, like, I think a lot of, like, servants, Germanic servants of the Roman army are what really sealed them in, because a lot of them would just, like, gather intel for the Germanic, like, higher command, and then eventually just leave. And so, like, these Roman generals would wake up, like, expecting their breakfast or whatever. And, you know, when it didn't come, they were like, hey, where the hell is this person? They're supposed to be serving me right now. And they're like, they left. What do you mean they left? Where did they go? And when they ask where did they go, everyone looks at this general as like, you know where they went. They left. They left with as much intel as you had given them by accident to the other side, and now we're screwed. So yeah, like, these little piecemeal things you could, like, just slowly insert the fact that, like, oh no, we're all screwed here. And I watched HBO's Rome a lot. I think I watched that, like, 3 times in a row because it is that good. And if you haven't seen HBO's Rome, I would watch History Buffs, the YouTuber History Buffs, video on it first, just so you get some context, then watch it. And, like, obviously there's going to be spoilers for the show, but it's also, you know, history, so there's that. I'm changing up the script. I don't want to do jazz anymore. Somebody give me an album. Send me something. Something to vibe with. Like, if the bright-eyed recruit who thinks they can do this versus some cynic, maybe people who are regretful of their war acts, but they were following orders, then someone who dies and sees... Fine, I'll play Tato. In the sunshine. After this song. I'll throw up some Tato after this. All right, so here's how we're going to open our movie. We're going to open our movie on a Roman general, who is just going to be known as an asshole to everybody, wondering where his servant is. Cut to the servant, full tilt sprinting through the woods, laughing, their ass off about, how they just swiped all of this intel from this Roman general scot-free, and like getting high fives from all their other Germanic friends. Why am I so bad at art? What the fuck, man? I hate this. No, we're fine. We're good at this. We can do this. That being said, this shit gotta go. Yeah, so we have this Germanic spy run through the woods with all this stuff, and eventually makes it to like, a scout camp where they just get like high fives and pat on the backs from like everyone there. And then, cut to the Roman general like realizing what is gone, and the Romans were so arrogant about their status in the world. Everywhere a Roman stood, there was Rome. Or at least that was the saying. They were terrible. They were terrible at two things. Great at a lot of things, terrible at two things. One, terrible at being like ambassadors. What's the word when two nations like talk to each other? Sorry, my mind is blanking when I do art. Diplomacy, thank you. Yeah, one was terrible at diplomacy. Terrible at it. Because every time they'd walk into a room, they just kind of expect everyone to go, oh shit, the Romans are here. Cool, hey, man, do you want my, like, second and third daughter? I mean, shit, here, you can have you can have my first daughter. It's all yours. Like, I don't want it. Here, take her. Oh, you want some trade routes, like, straight through town? You want a trade route straight through my house? Oh, of course. Yeah, you're the Romans. You know the best. Like, that's how they expected everyone to behave. And so, when it came time to negotiate with people, obviously it was like, we're not gonna do that. And if you're gonna get all huffy about it, then we're just gonna go to war. And, they were thugs. They were thugs who expected everyone to kind of kneel to them. And if they didn't, then it was war. And the Romans were very good at that. Unless they needed to cross an ocean or a lake or a puddle or a stream or a river that goes to their own city. I wonder if was the Pomerium? They crossed the... What river did they cross? Hold on. The Rubicon. So there's a river called the Rubicon. And if you cross the Rubicon, and, like, if you're a general or a soldier, you stop being that and you start being a civilian. That's just how it goes. Like, and that was the way that they kept, militarization of, average citizens out of Rome, was by saying, hey, once you hit this line, you're done with that. Don't bring weapons in here. Don't bring your men in here. Which is why it was such a big deal for fucking Caesar to roll through and say, hey, not only am I armed, I brought all of my homies. All of my army. My super loyal army, that one? Anyways, I want to do things a little different around here. And everyone's like, oh, shit, okay. All right. Did I do this right? Does it matter anymore? Does anyone really care? Is this even real? Am I in a simulation? Because if I am, man, I have some complaints. I have some notes. As a playtester for this reality, I have some notes. First of all, suffering slider, way too high. But yeah, I think that maybe they made that rule about crossing the Rubicon was just so that soldiers would be more careful crossing it, because every time that the Romans touched water, they died. Either they died via a storm, they died because their boat sucked, they died because the other army had a navy. It didn't have to be a good navy. They just had to have a navy. And then the Romans would just sink. See, that's what I think most of the Roman historians focus on, like the wrong thing. Look at how horrible the Romans actually were. That's the stuff you should focus. Don't worry about what they built, because nothing's going to match up to the pyramids. All the 7 wonders of the world don't match up to the pyramids. Every bit of engineering marvel doesn't match up to the pyramids. Do you know why? Because the pyramids are still here, and nothing has outlasted them. Nothing. The Hanging Gardens? Where's it hanging now? No, that's gone. That fucking lighthouse that was like over the Mediterranean? Where's that? The big statue of that guy? No, that's gone. That's not there anymore. And they were built an absurd amount of time ago, and they're still there. Huge stones. Also, what's the Maori? Is it the Maori stones? What are they called? This is a history lesson with pasta now. Please take note that I'm full of shit and don't know what I'm talking about. Maori. No, not Maori. Wrong. Moai. Moai. I'm so fucking dumb. Don't listen to anything I say. Fucking moron. Yeah, the Easter Island heads, the Moai. Oh my god, I'm now embarrassed. Maui. No, you're pasta. Stop it. Relax. Calm down, pasta. Oh god, I misread that. It said 14 to 1650 AD, and I was like, BC? It's like, no, that's not how any of that goes, my friend. So the Moai statues, if I'm not mistaken, and I need to double check this, but the Moai statues and how they got around, people built so many of those and buried them in the ground that they like effectively deforested their own country. And they're cool. They're very cool, especially given how deep they're buried. But, yeah, it's the 7 wonders of the world are just laughable in comparison to what the Egyptians did. What is the other 7 wonders of the world? All right, here we go with the Tato playlist. I don't know. Yeah. All right, we're done with jazz. What else? It always makes me wonder how many of those like great leaders of history were actually just Elon Musks with good publicists. You know, like absolute shitheads with a lot of money, that basically just told someone, yes, this is how it went down in history. And they were like, you're paying me, bud. Sure. Or the person who would like say, well, get it done. I don't care how it's done. Just do it. And then like the person who actually makes all the history, like the person who actually does all this stuff, makes it happen. And then, you know, they take credit for it. What were we talking about? Rome. I'm lost now. I'm lost and I'm sad all of a sudden. That's right, the movie. The movie that we... Oh, it's going to be great. I got an idea for a movie, and it goes like this. Check it out, it's about a guy that gets his finger stuck in a bottle of Mr. Pibb. Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Okay, those fell. The Colossus at Rhodes fell. The Lighthouse of Alexandria fell. Great Pyramids of Giza, still there. Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, kind of there. Temple of Artemis, also kind of there. And the statue of Zeus at Olympia. Is that there still? Okay, so that was in 466 BC. Hold on, we gotta be careful about what Tato stuff we play. Let's do this. See, now I'm looking up that statue of the Buddha, the big one, seeing when that was built. I don't know. Anyways. I can't remember who it was that told me about, like, that made me realize how significant of a achievement the pyramids are, like, continue to be. And while it is extremely unfortunate that we did a lot of stereotyping and discrimination, we did get the movie The Mummy with Brandon? What's his name? That guy. That's a great movie. I do love it. All right, so we start out with the general getting robbed. Brendan Fraser. Thank you. Brendan Fraser. You are correct. I gotta make stains for this so that y'all can, like, stain the maid outfit with, like, pasta sauce. Are those ruffles good enough? No, they're not, but only because I haven't added any, like, shadow. All right, yeah, so we start out with Homie getting robbed by a Germanic servant who has quite simply had enough of his ass. High fives all around. Cut to some pimply-faced nerd of a Roman who's, like, super stoked about all this and is seeing all this happen and just being like, I can't believe the traitorous German people. How could they do this to us, the Romans, who treated them so well? And then we cut to, like, the older guy sitting next to him being like, you have no idea what's happening, do you? You have no clue what's happening. And then we could have this really sweet thing where, like, the old guy is, like, trying to convince the kid, like, hey, maybe getting home is a really important thing as opposed to, like, fighting a battle. Maybe you should, like, snap to and realize that we're in very big trouble. And it could be a kind of a back and forth thing where, like, you know, the older soldier is like, you need to get ready and you're not. That would be fun. That would be a good way to relate to these bastards. Now, here's the big question. Here's the most important one. How do we soundtrack the ambush itself? Now, there's an obvious answer here, which is... what's their name? Heilung. Heilung. German company. And, like, if you go into any of their songs, and you look at their comment section, you're going to see a lot of people making references to, like, this is what you hear in the forest before your Roman army gets ambushed. Like, that one would work really well. Heilung would do a good job of being like, oh boy. So here's the next question. Who is going to who's going to direct the action? Like, I want you all to think of a movie where you really liked the action of something, and like, who's gonna direct the action scenes for this, battle scenes? Just pick anybody, your dream director or action coordinator. Like, we can't do a John Wick, right? Old man and young boy exchange letters. They're saying there will be an ambush and an ordering it home. Comes too late. The old man is stuck at home. Head in. Oh my God. Yeah. You know what sucks is that, like, well, I mean, it doesn't suck. It's great because this is how Rome fell, generally. But a lot of politicians out there were just, like, super stoked that this had happened because they wanted the war over so they could start new wars in other places. Like, they were so done with Europe. I think a VTuber did a cover of this. I could be wrong, though. Probably. And the answer to that is probably definitely. All right, we've got our movie. Urban, you want to be the head of the Germanic army? We're going to get you a very big, glorious blonde wig. It's going to be great. You don't want a blonde wig? You want a blonde? Is it the blonde wig, or is it mad that you're the Germanic, the head of the Germanic tribe? Because I think that would be cool as hell. But I could be wrong. You gotta have the... who's the guy I'm thinking of? Not Arminius. No. Was it Arminius? Maybe it was Arminius. Maybe it was Arminius. Was it Arminius? No, it wasn't Arminius. Who was the other guy? The guy that surrendered to Caesar. Very famous. Vercingetorix. Yeah, Vercingetorix. I don't think Vercingetorix had anything to do with the Teutoburg thing, though. I don't know. Chad, we're talking about Roman history. We're making our own Teutoburg Forest horror movie where the Germans, the Germanic people, not the Germans. Germany doesn't exist at this time. Germany won't exist for a long time. In fact, Germany is really, like, as a concept, is relatively new to us. We are, in fact, thinking about the Roman Empire at the moment, but mostly the fall of it and how great of a movie the Teutoburg Forest ambush would be from the perspective of it being a horror film for the Romans. 1860s, thank you. All right, so here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to erase this line, right? This line's going to go away. It's more going to follow this line here. Or maybe not. Maybe it will do nothing. Come on. We're going to erase this line here. Cha, you know how much I love colonizer goes to place they weren't invited. Colonizer ignores the locals. Colonizer dies horribly. It's my favorite genre of horror. Period. I love it. And if I could ever make a movie like that, I would. I think we should shoot the whole thing. The whole thing is live action. We do everything live action right up until the ambush, and then we cut to claymation. We cut to stop motion. And we go further than that. We do, like, claymation. We do all of that. But we also just have, like, G.I. Joes and Barbies. Like, dressed up in, like, the stuff. But we just completely switch medium right at the ambush. Everything completely falls apart in terms of, like, continuity. Exactly. Cha, exactly what I'm talking about. I'm about to do something. No, I can't. I can't. Oh, but I could. Oh, come on, man. Pull yourself together. Let's see. Okay, we're going to see how high resolution this gets. Import image. Ooh. Please, God, tell me y'all didn't see that. No. Okay, great. All right. Let's see here. Pictures. This ain't gonna work. It's too small. All right, so just to let everyone know, what I was going to do was look up a picture of the great Germanic leader Vercingetorix, and then edit on Vercingetorix's hair onto Urban Bohemian's emote, but the emote's too small and I can't do it. But I just want everyone to know, like, this... Urban. Buddy. This could be you. This could be Urban Bohemian. Maybe. I'm about to lose a follower. About to watch the follower count down by 1. Pastagetorix. Oh, wait, hold on. We're on to something here. Nope, hold on. No. Let's do this. Okay. Actually, just do the whole thing. Do the whole thing. Do the whole thing. How do I do the whole thing? Yeah, that's Vercingetorix. That was a very famous leader. No, not what I wanted. Polyline. Looks like my dad and... Yeah, you know him from that famous cartoon. really want to put Vercingetorix in the... Hold on. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Bop. Gonna copy and paste. All right, that's our... Is that our copy? There's 6 copy. Okay. Scale and rotate. That's right. That's right, Jetty. Oh, hold on. We need to free transform this. It's such a sassy angle. I don't know what to do with you. Free transform. Just so much attitude. This is a man who refuses to surrender easily. Submit thy will to Rome, he says. No. I don't want to do that. Girl, you seen my hair? All right, I've lost the plot. I've fully lost the plot. Get out of here. Vercingetorix, get out of here. You're not welcome here. Sorry, no more Vercingetorix. All right, new topic. No more Romans. We're done with Romans. They're irrelevant. Irrelevant. He does have that, like, 70s beat cop, drug buster sort of look, right? Yeah, that's actually pretty good. The Reeks then. No! No. No more. No more history talk. I can't do it. Especially not European history talk. I don't want to do that anymore. See, now I just can't help but think about, like, how do you... Oh, God. It was the meme of Justin Timberlake gets shot by... Or not Justin Timberlake. Justin Bieber gets shot by everyone. There's an episode of, like, some police drama where Justin Bieber, like, steps out of a car and raises a gun to cops, and they just mow him down. And I want that, where, like, we're in the middle of this massive ambush, and then, like, out of nowhere, we cut to another scene from another movie where, like, someone's, like, firing a bow, but it's not of the right era. And then we just gradually turn up the heat until eventually, like, the Earth is just detonated. It just stops being about Teeterberg and just starts being about, like, random movies that just increase the amount of violence until... I'd find that amazing. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? Fantastic film. JD, you haven't actually changed the subject, though, and you know it. That's just the Odyssey. That's European history. You know that. Oh, before we change the subject, Brother, Where Art Thou? Yeah, it's it's an amazing film. What about it? I'm a big fan. Sorry. Okay, here's a subject change for everyone. Favorite movie adaptation of a book. Mine is probably Master and Commander. God damn it, that's European history too. Fuck. God damn it. Can't get away from it. Shit. Hell yes. 10 Things I Hate About You. Love that film. Do we have to read the book? No. You should, but no. I always like the book better than the movies, but Shakespeare adaptations are an exception. Yeah, like the Romeo X Juliet, the Romeo plus Juliet adaptation did something that I think a lot of people miss in Shakespeare things is that those fights aren't just supposed to be to kind of move the plot along. Like they're supposed to be exciting. And like I know a lot of people who put their heart and soul into learning how to do stage fighting to make it look real and interesting. And I think there's a lot of actors out there who don't know how to sword fight. And so when they step up, it looks shitty and boring. And then somebody dies and the drama kicks back in. But like you're kind of losing an interesting part of history there, which is the duels. Yeah, it's supposed to be contemporary and exciting, and the music would be different. But the opening fight scene, as cheesy as it is, in every context, the opening fight scene of that film is phenomenal adaptation to really express how much these dudes hate each other. What's his name's character? What's his name? Mercutio, the guy who says peace. I hate the word, as I hate Helen all Montagues. Yeah, he goes out of his way to kill people, even as they're retreating. Just shows a lot of hatred. And the fact that his gun is named Longsword, God, it's just, it's so good. Oh, so don't be afraid to be cheesy. People love cheese. As long as you embrace it and you're not trying to make it, something new and edgy, just be Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim knew exactly what it was. It was a giant monster movie based off a lot of, Japanese monster fighting movies with mechs. And they wore that on their sleeve proudly. I think that should be respected. I'm actually going to stand up for a second and get some water. I'll be right back. Mm. Oh, the new Frankenstein was amazing. Big fan. There's a lot to be taken from the new Frankenstein film, but I think the chief amongst them is that, and this is a lens focused at. I think it's definitely a lens focused mostly at men. But I think it's, to anyone who has had a violent past, or perhaps just doesn't like something about the people that they're around, particularly like their parents or the society that they grow up in. And that message is that you don't have to be this. Frankenstein was conceived on a battlefield. And violence was so inherent to Frankenstein's nature that it should have been that he was a violent monster. Everything kind of pointed to that. But he didn't want to be that. The world made him be that for a while. But like in a way that was defending himself. I don't think he ever hurt anybody he didn't really mean to. And that's the tragedy. And then the fact that, like, at the end, he was just like, I just don't want to be alone anymore. Because I will be. When you, my dad, leave, and you are leaving now, I'll be alone forever, man. Like, what am I supposed to do? And the secret's going to die with you. But yeah, the fact that, like, and that's something that kind of that clues in a little bit to close to my heart, because I wrestle sometimes with, how big of a person I am and how easy it is for me to scare and hurt people. I try not to, but like, I could bump into somebody at the grocery store and my mass is going to transfer to them in a way that is going to shove them halfway across the planet. And I don't like that that's an aspect of me, which means I just have to be more careful. Or if I say something that might threaten someone in a way that I wouldn't recognize, Frankenstein spoke to me in a lot of ways where it's like, hey, you're made of these parts. You don't have to give in to them. You don't have to be this. Man, did I need to hear that from that movie. Also, I saw someone on Blue Sky did a Yuri version of it, and I'm like, oh my god, please give to me. I once lunged to hug a friend and knock them into a pillar with a nail poking out of it. Holy crap. Cha, I never knew that. You killed someone. Yeah, but like we said, we don't have to be that. My house is making strange noises. Yeah, perk. Yeah. Also, being kind can be hard. It can be really hard. Being kind and understanding is just it's a feat of strength. I felt the guy in Mice and Men. You are like the guy in Mice and Men. I never saw or read Mice and Men. Why are you doing this to me? Close the gap. Close gap. Hey, quick question. just this is to God. What did I do to you to make me deserve this? I just want to fill in this square here. Back. Oh, okay. Well, I did that, but also I'm also a big fan of like gore in movies, well done gore and violence, and Frankenstein had that in spades. Mind you, I like it from the aspect of it being an art form and not the actual like. Well, I say that like I don't want to see real life gore and stuff like that, and I usually don't, except when it comes to sports injuries. Like if I'm with my skateboarding friends and like somebody biffs it and they like get a road rash, I'm like, bro, check that shit. And then they're like, cool. And I'm like, cool, let's go scrub that off. And they're like, what? And I'm like, we gotta wash that. And they're like, I'll just put a Band-Aid on it. I'm like, no, you're gonna rub it with soap and water. You think you're hardcore? I don't give a shit who you are. If you hit the ground like that and you get a road rash, you're gonna wash it with soap and water. You're gonna scrub it with soap and water. Then we'll see who's fucking tough. I love sports injuries. I find it so cool when people are able to talk about the stuff they got doing hardcore stuff. I had a friend that worked at REI who, for all intents and purposes, no one, Urban, and you understand that. And I'm a person who like, what's the person who like kind of sort of enjoys like a little bit of pain? What's the word? Masochist? I don't know. It doesn't like I enjoy it when it happens. I don't actively seek it out, but like if I get a rough, I'm laughing. The moment that it starts to scrub the road rash, it's Mozart all the way. I am not happy, and you just got to do it. Yeah. Is this wide enough? I don't think it's wide enough. Let's make it wider. Wider. More. Yeah. Something that I did regret looking up is sword wounds. Don't do that. Don't do that. Big mistake. It's not good for you. Because it's something that I visualize when I'm fencing. Is, okay, I got hit here. What would that wound mean to me? Like, in my daily life? Because every time that I study fencing, what I'm doing is recreating the past a little bit by like, the people that did all of the fencing practice that I do now without the fear of being murdered by my neighbor. They did. And so every time I think about like, oh, I got this cut in this arm, where is this tendon? Where is this? You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm losing my mind here. It's hard to focus on two things at once. It's almost as if our brains weren't built to do that. Hey, look, it's my Ko-Fi. Hi, Ko-Fi. How are you? Okay, now we're gonna use this as a guide. I'm not sure if I've shared this before. I've been working on Stilly's shitpost video, which has removed my ability to respond cognitively to anything in chat. I was worried that I did something wrong with the Vercingetorix thing, so I dropped it. But no, focus on your thing. Content from Urban Bohemian takes priority over everything else. Oh my god. Beautiful flowing locks. Content. I am making content. We were just talking about Frankenstein, and now that's all I can see is just Urban in front of a table with the word content on it, tied into a bunch of like Tesla coils. Oh, Maple, gross. Working your job? That's disgusting. That sucks. I'm so sorry. I can't believe that society makes us do that. Listen, and here's the thing: is that all I need is like 300 to 500 more concurrent viewers, and I can make this my main job. That's all I need is 300 to 500, and some merch, and sponsorships. Oh god, and I'll have to like network with a bunch of other people, and I'll have to like set up events, and then I'll have to like I like actually have to take care of a community. Oh god. Snap out of it. What's even worse is that I work at a university. Oh my god. My partner is the only one working during the winter break. Ugh. I'm lucky in that like my department is just necessary enough to never be like, you know, cut out of like, you know, budget cuts, but not so important that we're like always on. Good middle ground. I'm wondering because I know that a lot of like YouTubers and VTubers and people who do content creation for a living and then quit, where do they go? What do you do with that amount of experience? Like, let's say you've been doing it for like 5-10 years. What do you do? Who do you go work for after that? Like, let's say I do this for 10 years and I actually make it a pretty successful thing. And then maybe I want to retire, or maybe like the money isn't there anymore. Where do you go? What do you do? I mean, the dreaded thing that I keep going in my head is that I'm eventually going to have to go back to college to like learn more shit. I don't want to do that ever. God, college was such a bad idea for me. Like, I know why my parents pushed for it. I get it. Oh, man. Bad idea. Like, just the whole, like, idea of, like, my antisocial nature. I think the moment I finally realized, like, the phrase in my head of college isn't for me hit when I went back to school for the second time out of 3, because I didn't learn from this particular incident. It was just the first time. I was in a philosophy class, like Philosophy 101. We were like 15 minutes in. And I heard like maybe 3 people's opinions about something. I can't even remember what it was. Wasn't even that big a deal. And I was like, if I have to sit in this class with these motherfuckers, I'm gonna snap. If I have to listen to them poorly understand stories and like films and stuff, I'm going to absolutely lose my mind. And then I just stopped going. So. Oh, it's bad. Bad, Cha. Honestly, like, it's funny because that class had less self-awareness than my films class did in high school. Because it's interesting because like the films class in high school started to develop this weird self-awareness that you don't see from high schoolers. Because at first we were all talking about like really obvious things in film, like black versus white. Like this person's wearing black, so they're the bad guy. This person's wearing white, so they're the good guy. There is a stop light that is red, that is blinking red in this scene. That means that, you know, this person's storyline has come to an end, or they should stop and they won't. You know, stuff like that, like really basic stuff. And then gradually people like actually started to come out of their shells and like understand film on a level that I haven't seen from high schoolers. Maybe I'm remembering that differently, but it was interesting. But yeah, no, that philosophy class was a nightmare. And I couldn't do it anymore. How wide? Yeah, I think the whole like this person is wearing black so they're evil, this person's wearing white so they're evil actually became like a meme in that class, to the point where people would call it out and be like, "Oh, they're wearing black, they're the villain," and like even if they weren't. It was the Westworld style of like bad guy versus good guy. I really want to see these people in concert. I wonder if Halle Callie is coming to the US. That'd be cool. Not that I'm going to concerts anytime soon, but I am finally going to Swords tomorrow, even if it's not to fence, because I am forbidden from doing any physical activity at all for the next like 2 weeks, which is going to drive me mad. Let's do this. But I'm just going because I've realized that the lack of human interaction, like real in-person human interaction, as much as I love all of you, y'all ain't here. God, that'd be so fucking cool. I'd love to be like an in-person streamer. What is that? What is that like? Okay, somebody write this down. 5 years from now, when I have my 500 concurrent viewers, I'm going to rent out a theater. And I'm going to do this live. I'm going to be behind the screen so that nobody knows who I am. But we're going to have this where I'm playing video games live in front of the theater. Or I could just like make a giant pasta outfit. Right? Right. It's been 2 weeks. Like it's thankfully on Christmas I went over to a friend's house and like actually got a hug, which like holy shit. It was like that guy from Treasure Island with his bit of paradise. Just like, oh my god. I've made a mistake. How the fuck do I do this? No. I tell you how we do this. We fucking cheat. Fuck you, Art. Okay, we can do better. Why is anyone doing anything over again when they can cheat? Wait. Oh, God, yeah. No, just... Yeah. No, fuck it. No one's going to know. Okay, so that's one of the biggest things that I've, like, early martial arts days. This is when I was studying a Korean martial art. And I was learning forms like you do. And I kept like grimacing every time I fucked up. And my teacher was like, I see you doing that. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, I can see you messing up. I know you've messed up because I'm your instructor. You know you've messed up because you were the one who did it, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he says, do you think that the judges are going to know that? And like that gave me pause, and I was like, wait, no, they wouldn't. They don't know this form. Not at least the version that we're studying. And so he was like, don't show that you fucked up and no one will know. And I'm like, holy crap, like a new part of my brain opened up. We are not gonna be able to cheat this though. I think this is something we're gonna actually have to do legitimately. Fuck. Ah, damn it. No, I was so excited to cheat. Like woodworking is a really great example of and like there's a really high-end woodworking guy who goes out of his way to, like, when he cuts a hole into something, he will cut out like the center half or like cut out a certain part of it that is easily maskable to the point where like you can't tell that there's a break in the grain of the wood that he's working with because he's hidden it so well. And like a lot of woodworking is just not showing your fucking mistakes. Like if you rip open a house and you find like you look at all the studs and stuff, they ain't gonna be perfect. And that's because, you know, they were able to hide their mistakes. And if the house stays upright, then who cares? Maybe a house isn't the best example, but you know what I mean. No, this isn't gonna work. We're gonna have to do something else. Come on, ye bastard. No, this is okay. Okay. It's fine for now. This will be a stand-in. We can come back to this later. But yeah, like just hiding your mistakes. And only you will know that they're there. And if it bothers you, so be it. But maybe you should focus more on like the finished product than you are your you know, insecurities about making a mistake. Do that instead. And then finish your product, and then when someone says, hey, good job, actually believe them. Which is really hard for, you know, no joking aside, like all joking aside, like admitting that you've done a good job can be very, very difficult. Arguably one of the most difficult things to do. But never be afraid to do it. That being said, don't ever compliment me on anything. I feel like I should have done this from the other way around. Like this little bit's bothering me. We could just fix it. We could. I have a thing when I make stuff, which is consciously half-assing it. Because it's generally more effort than many would put in, and no one would know of all the things that I feel are fuck-ups about it. So I stop myself perfecting a thing and just export it. Yeah. That's some wisdom. Like, straight up, it's just... I have a cha in my head. A chicanery in my head that just chants good enough, and that usually helps. I've been trying to put that little gremlin chanting into my friend Fido's ear, Drunk Phytologist, which, Urban, you may know Drunk Phytologist. The none of this matters phrase is immensely helpful to me. Because none of this matters. The things that do matter, you'll do well. The things that don't matter, you'll do okay. And that's okay. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know what started the whole trend on Blue Sky of don't uh don't stress about or don't like stress about how good something is, just do it. Um like worry about making it perfect later. That was the phrase. Worry about making it perfect later. That ugh, that's just really good advice. Um Perfect is the enemy of good and done. Yeah. Um I will say that that little rule of yours, like not of yours, I don't know why I said of yours, of ours, is great. However, if you're doing graffiti and you need to run up to a wall and do it very quickly, but you also need to do it well because it's going to be up there for a while unless someone paints over it, that can be nauseating. And that takes a lot of practice. That's a skill that they don't talk to you about. No one talks to you about unless you have a mentor. Is, you know, getting to the wall and having anxiety and planning things out appropriately so that you don't get caught. That is a huge thing. Not that I would know anything about that, obviously. Anyone who says otherwise, come talk to me. Whisper into my left ear. All right. So here's the last thing. Shit. And see, that's how I evade the police. They ain't looking for that, are they? Might be an odd sight to see a colander of pasta on the side of the road. You aren't going to pay it a second thought. Who is Hallie Callie's producer? No, seriously, who is the producer here? Holy shit, R.I.P. Slime were the people that brought them up. Rip Slime were the people who brought them up? That's so fucking cool, and that makes so much sense. Oh, that's so good. Oh no, the album looped. Yeah, on a more private stream, we'll talk more about graffiti stuff, but not on this one. Don't do graffiti, kids. It's illegal. So, Urban, you say that I am a colander of pasta. Would you say that you are a shirt of a human? Or perhaps, and I'm predicting, I am sensing that you are a boxer briefs person? No. Not boxers. No, I'm not seeing boxers. What am I seeing? Are they boxer briefs? Would you say that you're a underpants of a person? Of course you wouldn't. I am pasta. The colander is merely what I am wearing to keep this form. The reason that I bring this up, and the reason that it's so important, I'm just predicting, all right? I'm just thinking about what you. I'm just. I can't laugh hard. I can't laugh hard, or my sinuses will get all fucked up again. Stop. Don't laugh. I can't. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm out. I'm out. We're not talking about that anymore. I honestly, when I was working at REI, it was one of my favorite questions to ask. Like, you'd have like a lot of like people roll through who are like on their first adventure, and one of my favorite questions to ask, like, young men on their way to adventure is like, now the most important question that any man must ask themselves is boxers or briefs. And I would like give them as dead a straight man, like as dead face as I could, be like, now this is really important, and I really want you to think about this. Boxers or briefs. And everyone would fucking lose it. It's a great line. I myself, boxer briefs. Preferably floral. Speaking of which, I should probably order some new floral. Do they make lace? Hold on. Lacy boxer briefs. Holy shit. I'm so glad I didn't pull this up. Holy shit, these are amazing. Oh my god. They have them for the femmes as well. Good. Amazing. I mean, like, of course they do. I just never looked at it. Like, it never occurred to me that there would be lacy boxer briefs, but there are. Fair. Like an energy being on Star Trek, you are pasta, the colonizer is your containment unit. Correct. So the reason that I bring that up, Urban, is that I'm trying to get the assets for this maid outfit done today. Because once I finish rigging this and animating it, I can start. I can start on making a new model entirely, and I think what we're going to do is abandon the colander for now and switch to a boiling pot, because I can get more motion out of like the flame on the bottom. Plus like the bubbles and steam. So like if I get mad, there's going to be a lot of steam. If I laugh a lot, there can be bubbles. Like, because I don't have a mouth, it's hard to express joy and anger other than with eyebrows. And even then, like, I can express angers with the eyebrows. Kinda, except my camera's not picking up my eyebrows right now. But there's really only so much I can do. So I need something else to express that I am happy, sad, angry. But the cooking time, true. How do we fix that? Gromit doesn't have a mouth. He's quite expressive. Yes. Okay. So Maple, I have been like clinically, academically studying the Muppets and trying to figure out how I can relate a lot of their stuff to my model. Quick quiz. How does Kermit express pure joy? Arm wagglies. Big arm wagglies. Head up, big arm wagglies. Like, nothing about the face is really expressing that other than the mouth open. But, like, the big arm wagglies, that's all motion. And I've talked about this before. There's here, it's a Polygon. Patrick Gill did a video. It's a video called Why Bloodborne and Muppets Are the Exact Same Thing. And he has a very good point, which is the things that you need for a puppet are shape, texture, and motion. And I have motion, and I obviously have shape. Texture is something that I'm missing, but I can work on that. I feel that this model lacks a certain amount of, like, and I'm really not trying to be gross here, so if you're grossed out by this word, I'm sorry, grow up. There's a lack of moisture. There's a lack of, kind of grit to like the meatballs and stuff like that. And I'm proud of what I've done thus far, but I do need to make a new one purely for my own sake, so that I can start doing more emotions, so I can start doing more animations, making things a little more simplistic for me while making it look a little more complicated on the outset. But yeah, the first thing, and the reason that I'm like so dead set on finishing this is so I can be done with it, because I am done with it. I'm trying not to move on to a new project just because I'm bored with the old one. So yeah, once I finish this, then I start on the new model. Now, that new model might actually be a 3D model. We'll see. I would love to learn Blender and do a 3D model. But the more that I think about it, the more I think that that is a bad idea. Primarily because my computer is kind of, as some of you realized last night, may not be up to snuff for certain things. So maybe running a like 3D model and a video game is going to be a little too much. So we'll see. Unless somebody wants to buy me an entirely new PC, in which case that'd be fine by me. Dude, you were able to do... Okay, it's because you were holding a pen. Also, I think one of the most clear expressions of emotions from any of the Muppets ever is from Miss Piggy and her rage. It's not anger. It's not frustration. It's rage. And it's the pinched face and the very tight shaking that grows in intensity until she explodes. Like, you can tell she's a hand grenade at that moment. So that's really what I'm working on, is making things more I don't know, more expressive. Also, as you can see, my art skills have vastly improved. That was sarcasm. I haven't done shit to learn better art other than sketch at my work, which is technically practice, but also, you know. Whatever, I'm never going to die anyway, so it's fine. I have plenty of time to do this. I'm going to hit 106 and realize that I'm actually immortal. Which sucks because I'm not invulnerable. And if you're not invulnerable, I would highly encourage you to opt out of being invincible, lest you spend the rest of your existence as, like, a single atom. Or, like, just a head in a jar. And then when that blows up, and you're still invincible, are you just a consciousness at that point? Or is it just my brain that's invulnerable at this point? Have I lost the plot of what I'm saying on my own? Yes. This is what happens when I stream for longer than 2 hours. I wonder... how do we integrate that? How do we integrate this into... That will be for us to figure out later. because we need to fill this in anyway, so it's fine. Actually, funny enough, the pasta from this is actually going to be a part of my lore video because I think it's important to talk about like who I like, where I came from, and more importantly, like who like what my lineage is. And one of my uncles, technically my great uncle, was the pasta on one of the Swedish Chef skits during the Muppet Show. It wasn't pasta the Billity's first role in tolerance. Sorry, one second. Yeah, okay, that's good enough. Yeah, that wasn't the pasta's like the Billity's family's first role necessarily, but it was a really big breakthrough, especially because it was the first time that one of the Billity families was on the silver screen without any kind of makeup on or costume. But we'll save all that for the lore video as soon as I figure out how to, animate an entire video. But we'll get there eventually. Yeah, the list of other things that the Billity family has been in also includes Saving Private Ryan, several Godzilla films, the special effects department in for The Thing actually contacted a Billity member. They weren't Billity. That member of the family was not in the movie The Thing, but they did kind of use them as a reference for the tentacles flying out of The Thing during the dog scene. They used that kind of motion as a reference, which unfortunately went uncredited. But we don't hold any ill will towards them. It's fine. Things happen. I'm still trying to find other instances of the Billity family being in entertainment. My great-great-grandfather was accidentally almost mistaken for ramen noodles in Japan, which is actually how he ended up in one of the Godzilla films. So that was fun. God, if I won the Mega Billions right now, it would be straight to what's the Muppet Company? What are they called? Yeah, it would be straight to them to do a full length pasta movie. The Henson Studios, thank you. Yeah, Henson Studios. Yeah, it would be straight to them to did I make this too curvy? I think I kind of did. I don't like this at all. Be gone. Yeah, straight to Henson Studio to make my lore video. 3 hours long. Including the failed film that I tried to make about the Teterboro Forest ambush. Okay, mince. Okay, so mince little frilly thingies are pretty simple down there, so let's just keep it simple. Man, everyone wants to watch A Muppet Christmas Carol around this time of year, which I get. But, like, I also really, really want to watch Muppet Treasure Island every time that somebody brings up Muppet A Christmas Carol. I love that movie so much. Nearly suggested having the movie be all Muppets except for Herb's character. Fuck yes. God. Oh my God. Yeah, I'd watch that. Watch the fucking shit out of that. I think maybe I would also go to what's his name? Sorry, y'all. So for those who don't know, I have ADHD. So, like, remembering names is very difficult for me. So every time that I'm like, oh, God, what the... Guillermo del Toro. I think I'd have Guillermo del Toro direct it. All right, everyone, brace yourselves. I'm bringing in an Australian. Hello. How you doing? Oh, hold on. They probably can't hear you. I don't know what I've done to anger the Discord gods, but every time I have to, like, click, even if it's on the same voice channel. That's true. God, I love my imagination then.
I'm the imaginary friend in Pasta's head, and you're like, everyone else can hear her too, right? Right?
If y'all can't hear her, I feel bad for you. She's got some great things to say.
Yep.
I'm a fan.
Like, Tate at the loudest volume.
That's my job.
That's what I mind.
You can't take that from me. I'm supposed to be. Well, I can't
take
right
that
now.
From you. That's been mine forever.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But I'm supposed to be yelling, so like watch your volume. You can say that all you want, but like, don't you mock me. What were we talking about? Muppets.
I have successfully Christmased.
Hooray!
The only thing left to make Christmas complete is watching Muppet Family Christmas with the D&D group in a few hours.
Yeah, when is that, by the way?
I need to figure out the thing that lets Discord, when you type in a time and it tells it everyone in their local time.
Okay. Well, how many hours from now?
Like 2 hours.
Okay.
2.5.
Okay.
It's only 45 minutes long, but I figure we needed a little, allow 15 minutes or whatnot for everyone to hear me banging the bell and going, get in here, stop what you're doing, stop that, put that down.
We must be herded like dinosaurs. Okay. I should stop for a second. Oh my god. Art is hard. Ugh.
Yep.
I can't fathom being a carver or a those people that make statues.
Mm-hmm.
Statue makers. Sculptors, thank you. Yeah, I can't imagine being sculptors just because of, like, your medium is diminishing as you create. Yeah. You take away things rather than add them. And, like, God, the anxiety alone would kill me, but also, like, the little fiddly bits would also kill me. Like these little fiddly bits that are killing me softly with his words.
Yeah, when I fuck up a knitting piece, it's like a pain in the ass, but I can undo it and redo it rather than being like, well, I have to find some way to save this or else the whole thing is ruined.
We're also just talking about pasta lore and the various roles that the Bility family has fulfilled in film history. The one that was my Uncle Tony was a plate of pasta in The Godfather, the scene where what's his face kills that guy in the Italian restaurant, and he won't shut the fuck up about it. It's intolerable. Like every Christmas, he wants to show it off to everyone that he was the one in the Godfather film. Never going to be good enough for him. It's fine though. Just kind of an asshole, you know. Oh, I'm going to cry if I can't just do this. All right. So as soon as I'm done with this outline here, I'm done drawing. I have done everything that I think I'm going to do with this outfit today. We're pretty much done. I just need to break this down to its base components so that I can make motion for it, basically. So like I'm going to have 2 or 3 moving parts for this so that the dress will actually move with my model. And then hopefully that will be all I need to do for this, and then I can move on to the new model. And I've thought about it for a while, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on that model offline. As much as I would love to make that content to like show you all, I don't know if I can handle that. I think I need to be as undignified as I possibly can while creating that, and I can't be entertaining while that's happening. I'm so sorry. I will give you all updates, but also I want it to be a surprise. I think it would be cool to be a surprise.
Wee.
Yep. Fill that white part in. Now. All right, there we go. Yep. I was going to go to the makerspace today and do some sewing. That's not going to happen. Eek. It's okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I bought my first specialized piece of sewing equipment for the shop that no one else is going to use except me. And I'm not saying that to be protective. I'm saying that because it's a niche piece of equipment. But it's something that's going to make my products look 100% better. All right, so other than shading, I think I'm good for now. Yeah, I think we're calling it for this. Okay.
I think I've finally reached the coughing stage of this cold. And I'm glad that happened the day after I had to spend like 6 hours or so on public transport.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm just complaining. Cause I'm like, meh, cold, blarg.
Okay, now I'm debating what to do next because I don't want to stop streaming, but I also probably should stop streaming.
How long have you been streaming? It's been a while, isn't it?
Let's see where I got. It's been 3 hours. That's not bad.
Respectable.
Let's see who's rateable. Yeah, I think we're gonna end the stream now. I will probably be on tomorrow night. I don't know what I'm gonna play tomorrow night. Probably more Cyberpunk. Maybe do a Skybrarian run. But we're gonna raid our dear friend Rules in Place.
Hey.
And I thank you all so much for stopping by. See you all tomorrow. Starting the raid now.
A boy.
And we're gonna watch Rules in Place talk about some very, very nerdy stuff.
Excellent.